You guys may be seated.
Oh,
Good morning, everyone. Right now, we'll be having a short skit brought to us by the Kids Club. But before we get started, here's a short introduction about this skit. This skit is entitled The Garment, which tells us the story from Demetrius' view, who was part of the executioner squad and witnessed the crucifixion of Jesus. He brings home one of Jesus' seamless garments as a souvenir, but later realizes the gravity of what he had been part of when he hears the rumors of Jesus being alive. He goes to see for himself and meets the resurrected Jesus, who asks for something else in return for the garment. Demetrius gives his heart to Jesus and becomes a believer. This skit explores the themes of redemption and the transformative power of encountering Jesus. Thank you. Royce. Like many young men, I was drafted, forced into the service of the emperor. It wasn't the life that I wanted, but it was a life that had its benefits, especially for those who served on the executioner squad. The condemned no longer needed the things they needed in life. Many years before I set foot on Golgotha, it was decided that the few possessions they took to their place of execution would belong to us, part of our compensation for the job. This garment. This wasn't the first thing I brought home from work. I had many of these in my collection. I had many other souvenirs of greater value. Bringing home clothes, well, that'd been a bad day. We'd much rather bring home some gold or some coins, something with real value. One though, this was different. This was his. It was the last of his garments after we split everything he and the two thieves had on them. It was seamless and in good condition despite the stains. Instead of tearing it apart, we decided to roll dice for it. My number came up and I took it home. I didn't think anything of it. Not when he was on the cross, not when he came down, not even after he was sealed in a tomb. He was just another rebellious Jewish troublemaker to me, but a few days later, something happened. I didn't believe it at first, but the rumors began to spread and the whole city was abuzz. He was no longer in the tomb. In fact, people were saying that Jesus was alive. I didn't believe it. None of us did. But I was curious enough. I had to go and find out for myself. One day, I was off duty. I took the garment and went out of the city. I found out where they were meeting with him, all of his friends. Sure enough, there he was, alive, smiling, laughing. I knew then this was no criminal. The man was no rebel either. He was someone different, someone who truly loved the people. I felt so ashamed I had been part of his death. But before I could turn and run for home, he saw me. Our eyes met, and his eyes, well, they fell down on the garment. I went to him. I didn't know why, but I did it. I held out the garment and said, "Here, this is yours." I couldn't believe what he said. "Keep it. Give me something else instead." So I did. That day, on the outskirts of Jerusalem, I gave my heart to a living Savior. Even today, there are many people who don't believe he really died and rose from the grave. But I know. I have the garment in my hands to prove he died. I have his spirit in my heart that tells me he is very much alive.